I am a mortgage loan processor. I'm 44. I'll be 45 next month. I'm a master's competitor. I've done 4 shows now. I did one OCB show, I did one NPC show, and I've now done 2 national shows. I've been an athlete pretty much all my life. In high school and in college, I did track and field. I was a high jumper and a sprinter, so I kind of thank that as far as my build and my physique. I think I have a pretty good build for bikini, which I am a bikini athlete, forgot to say that. And so yeah, that's how, I mean, that's my background as far as athletics. From there, after college, I got into running. I was quite an avid runner. I did a couple half marathons, and then I did a full marathon. I did the Philadelphia Marathon. And I kind of felt like um, I was over the whole running thing. Like I said, I did track and field all my life. I didn't know anything about lifting weights. All I did was really cardio stuff. And I kind of wanted to build some muscle. And I was always that person who would go to the gym and hop on all the cardio machines. I was kind of afraid of the weight section. So I kind of avoided it. And I didn't really know how to go about learning. So I decided to try out CrossFit, and I started that about, I don't know how many years ago now, but I did it for about 6 or 7 years. And it taught me a lot as far as how to lift weights, how to build muscle. And I don't know, I just felt like the community and everything made it a lot more comfortable to learn how to lift, as it wasn't intimidating. Everybody was, anybody, it was all different levels. And that's really kind of how I got into the whole weightlifting thing. But I felt like over the years, CrossFit kind of took a toll on me. I am in my 40s now, so I felt like my joints, I had a lot of aches and pains. And at the end of the day, I started to lift pretty heavy because I got really strong over years of doing it. That I didn't really like how my physique looked. I kind of had like a boxy look, and I didn't really want to continue. So I needed to try something new, and that's when I thought about getting into bodybuilding. Actually, my husband recommended it. Um, the main reason I did is because I had quit drinking. Um, I've been, I've always been like a big heavy drinker most of my life, and I felt like there were times I tried to quit, like 30 days at a time. I did like 100 days I tried to quit, but I always went back, and it never has benefited my life. So I felt like, you know what, I don't think I needed to do it at all anymore. And he suggested, why don't you try bodybuilding? It'll be a good thing to keep you on track and stay sober. And I have been sober now. It'll be 3 years in January, and it was probably the best decision I have ever made. So that's kind of where I'm at from there.
Are you a personal trainer, online fitness coach, or gym owner on the verge of burnout? Are you wanting to grow your fitness business but can't add more hours to your hectic schedule? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. What was it really that initially just drew you to wanting to, be in athletics at the, kind of at the core?
Competition. I'm a very competitive person. Track is a very individual sport, and I always strive to win as far as the races I did and high jumping. And then with CrossFit, it was always a competitive. There was always a competitive aspect to it, even when you'd go every day and just do the WOD, the workout of the day. But I did do a couple of competitions as well while I was doing CrossFit, because I do like that whole. I just like being competitive. So again, going into bodybuilding is also very competitive. So it's something that I enjoy.
So when you talk about, because I've never done CrossFit, I've talked to a lot of people about it. That workout of the day, how does that actually work?
Every day they will write up a workout, and it's I would say 4 or 5 different movements, and it takes anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes to complete. And we all do it as a group, and it's usually either timed or you just have to do as many rounds as possible within a time frame, or it's for time. Every CrossFit gym has different workouts. It's not like across the board everybody's doing the same workout, but it for that group, for that gym itself, it's the same workout for everybody.
How does like, other than just generally like, okay, I know I'm working out and I'm getting stronger, but how does progression work in the CrossFit program or style for you?
Well, that was the other thing I didn't necessarily love about CrossFit. They do push you to lift heavy. They don't focus on form as much as I feel they should. It's more about just getting the weight up over your head or squatting it, even if the form is not correct. That they focus on moving fast and lifting heavy. And I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but it definitely was motivating for me and I enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, I think it did take a toll on my body, and I don't necessarily think it's the healthiest option as far as finding something physical to do.
So going into CrossFit after running, did you feel like you had like a really like a decent advantage, even, not necessarily people that have been doing it for a long time, but you could kind of jump in just because you had that cardiovascular endurance and like, of course you had to learn to do the movements and build your
Yeah.
strength, but a big part it seems like of CrossFit is that endurance side of it. Did you feel like you kind of went in with some sort of kind of like not a leg up on people that have been doing it, but a leg up maybe on like the person that wouldn't have had that background of running?
The endurance part, yes. I went in and I felt I was very good at that aspect of it. But as far as lifting weights, I was terrible in the beginning. I was very weak as far as upper body. I had no upper body strength. So I think it took me quite a while to get good at that part of it.
Do you feel like you utilize those skills, whether it be physical or mental skills that you kind of develop during those running days, kind of either in CrossFit or maybe now in bodybuilding?
Definitely, because honestly, bodybuilding has been the hardest thing I've ever done when it comes to any sort of fitness journey that I've been on. But I think as far as prep goes, when you get towards the end, you really have to push yourself to get through it. And like running a marathon and training for it, when you get towards the end of training, you're running like, I think my last run was like 22 miles. You kind of just push yourself, even if your body doesn't want to do it. It's all about mindset. And same thing with CrossFit. I mean, the workouts are brutal. I mean, it's the type of workout where you work so hard, I drop to the ground exhausted afterwards. So again, it's all about a mindset. You don't think about the pain, you just kind of push through it. It's the same with prep, whether you're starving or you're really tired trying to get your workout in. You really have to just what is the phrase that I always use? Don't think, just do. And I kind of used that definitely the last couple of weeks going into a show to get me through.
You kind of mentioned that you would go to the gym and avoid the weight section because it was, this
Yeah.
the scarier side of the gym, if you will. But how much of that, how long did it take, I guess, for you to overcome the intimidation of the weights and get comfortable with just, utilizing your body in that way?
To be honest, I tried CrossFit and quit and then tried it again because I was intimidated. I went and tried to do the workout and I couldn't figure out the movements and I got really frustrated and embarrassed because I feel like a lot of my life I had a lot of self-esteem and insecurity issues. So I was always so worried about what everybody thought and who was looking at me. And that was the same problem with the gym. Like I didn't want to go to the weight section because I didn't want anybody to see me do something wrong. So I think because CrossFit is a community and there's all different levels of fitness, I tried it the second time and it was a lot. I think it was more maybe the gym I joined, but I was comfortable pretty much right off the bat. So my insecurities kind of went away. I would say within a couple months, maybe 3 to 6 months, I started to feel comfortable and started to lift heavier. But it took some time. It took time as far as bodybuilding too to get comfortable in the gym. It's crazy though, the confidence that I have gotten from competing and honestly from quitting alcohol. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what it is about competing because I feel like a lot of people say this, but my confidence has shot up and it's almost addicting to continue it because of how good I feel about myself. Now I feel like when I walk in the gym, I feel really good and I don't worry about anyone. As opposed to before, I was always worried about people looking at me. Now it's kind of like my second home. So I think for me personally, I go in there and I kind of just clear my mind of life, really. Like any stresses or problems, I don't think about. I just think about lifting the weights. It's a good stress reliever for me. And I almost feel like it's necessary. The days that I don't go to the gym, my mood is definitely off. So it's needed.
Kind of that transition though between CrossFit and bodybuilding, was that something that took place right away, or how did that go for you?
It was pretty quick, yeah. I quit drinking while I was at CrossFit. And then I decided that I wanted to try to do a competition. I didn't intend to continue bodybuilding. I thought I was going to be a one and done type thing, but I really loved the whole process. So here we are, we're still doing it. But the transition was pretty much immediate. And it wasn't as hard because, like I said, CrossFit lifting is way different than bodybuilding lifting, obviously. But I did learn enough where I was comfortable enough to get into the gym and learn the movements that my coach, put in my program.
I know a lot of you are coaches and trainers. Ever feel like your fitness coaching business could achieve more? That's where Trainer Revenue Multiplier comes in. They're not just about training, they're about transforming your passion into profit. Dive deep into value-driven coaching with TRM's unique approach, ensuring you stay true to your integrity while driving growth. From beginners to seasoned pros, they've got a package tailored just for you. So whether you're aiming to turn part-time into full-time or multiply your revenue, TRM's got your back. Check them out at trainerrevenuemultiplier.com. Was getting I'm assuming it was a different coach, like a new coach and stuff like that, had this new information with bodybuilding and stuff. How did that go really? Just like from trusting someone with this new kind of experience and being like, hey, I don't really know much about bodybuilding. I don't know much about the particulars of how to train per se. The diet side obviously is much more kind of strenuous and stuff like that. I mean, there's so much that's involved in it, and a coach really does play such a vital and large role in the success, not just of like competing, but success of the prep, success of like the post show, the success of just in general like your health. So I mean, did you go into it at all thinking like, not necessarily like having trust issues with your coach, but like did you think about like, oh man, this person really has kind of a lot, is carrying a lot of me on their shoulders here?
Honestly, I was so clueless. I really didn't know what to expect. I pretty much just I found this coach on Instagram, and he was local, and I knew nothing about bodybuilding. I didn't even know the divisions. He just so happened to coach OCB, so I figured, okay, we'll try it. But he just gave me a basic meal plan and a workout plan, and I just followed it. I didn't really think about it, to be honest, which I think was a mistake, which I can get into in shortly. But yeah, so I think I just kind of trusted him because of, he's been doing it and I didn't know anything. If I had known more, I probably would have done a little bit more research, but I just kind of hopped into it because I just wanted to try. I just really wanted to get on stage and see what it was all about. So
The OCB, what drew you to that?
just because I found him, I really, like I said, I knew nothing about anything. After doing the OCB show, I just felt that I wanted to try NPC. I feel my build is a little bit more muscular, and I didn't know if I was really a good fit for OCB, so I switched over right after that show to NPC. The hardest part for me has always been the diet part. Prior to getting this coach, I ate whatever I wanted. I never tracked anything. I overate. I binged ate. I did all of the above. Just like alcohol, I've had my issues with food too. So, hopping into this, I didn't really think about how that would affect me. And and even to this day, and this past show, I've had struggled pretty badly in reversing out of a show. I tend to binge pretty hard after shows, and the results of that have been not good on me. in September, I was having gut issues, so I took a breath test and I tested positive for SIBO. So I've been working on clearing that up right now. My current coach now, who's his name is Anthony Deal, he's been amazing as far as putting me through a protocol. I'd say in the last 30 days he's cleared up quite a bit of it. Well, thank God, because it's not fun. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what caused it, but I'm sure my issues with food and my relationship with food has something to do with it because of the fact that I've had issues with binging. I also had issues this past summer. I did Universe and I placed fourth in both my classes. So I felt like I need to keep going. I need to try to do Masters, Nationals, and North Americans because I have a shot in my pro card. So I just fell apart. And I ended up binging right before Masters Nationals because life happened and I had excuses to eat when I shouldn't be because I was so close to show. So I pulled out. And then I pulled out again from North Americans because I just couldn't stay on track. Now I'm working on trying to heal my relationship with food. We're definitely in a better place than we were over the summer, but it's been a process and I just am taking it day by day.
So you mentioned kind of that with that first coach and you know needing maybe to kind of be more thoughtful about some things. If you can get into that, that would certainly be something I think
Yes,
very worth
because
learning about.
I got into it, like I said, I was eating whatever I wanted, and I never had an issue with my weight. I've always been in pretty good shape, so I never really worried about what I was eating. Um, so when I got put on that diet plan, the meal plan for prep, my body changed really quickly. And I mean, I was excited about it. I thought it was great, but I didn't know there was going to be consequences afterwards. Like I thought, okay, show's over. I'm going to go back to normal and I'm going to eat what I want. And it didn't go well. I packed on weight. I didn't revert. He also didn't reverse me properly. I didn't really get any explanation on how that even worked. So that was probably a mistake as far as who I chose as a coach. I should have done some more research. But like I said, I knew nothing about competing, so I didn't know that that was even something I needed to pay attention to.
People going in, competitors going in, they don't know, and I think that of course, as individuals, we have a level of responsibility, but I think when we're going into something, especially when we're paying for like an experience in a way, like I think
Right,
there's a responsibility on both ends to
right,
protect the
exactly. Because
athlete.
I think, especially as a new competitor, you're not focused on after the show. All you're thinking about is getting ready for the show and show day and just getting to where you need to be. Nobody really talks about afterwards. Well, now they do, now that I've done, at the time, if you're new, you don't really know this stuff. So I think after that, and when I moved to the NPC, my reverses were 100% on me, not on the coaches, because I had coaches who were telling me the proper way to do it. I just wasn't doing it. So
How much do you think that like weighs onto the future preps and future competitions?
I don't know if I would say that the first experience is the reason why I've struggled with reversing. I think it's more just my struggles with food in general, because I've never restricted myself and I've definitely had times where I'd overeat and not really think about it as a problem. But once you do something like this and you are restricting yourself, the issues I had with food kind of got worse. And I think, if anything, it kind of shed light on the fact that I do have issues as far as binge eating that I didn't really realize were that big of a problem until doing something like this. I feel like a lot of competitors go through this, and it's kind of unfortunate because it's not really talked about, and it's kind of like a shameful thing. But it's been such a part of my journey and learning about myself and bettering myself that I just feel like it should be talked about more because I feel like it happens a lot. I mean, when you restrict your body from food for so long that you enjoy, then afterwards it's really hard to not eat the things that you've restricted yourself from for months at a time. And I know there's plenty of women who are successful at it, but there's a lot that haven't been. And it would be nice to have everyone, be able to talk about it openly without having any shame about it because it's hard.
It would be cool if there was like another. something else coming kind of from like that federation, if there was almost like I don't know if the support group's the right word, but some sort of like, hey, are you a first time competitor? Join us at this
Yeah.
show, thing, and we're going to talk about what it's like to reverse. We're going to talk about, what you should be aware of.
Yeah. And I think the more that you do this, the better you get at it. I notice athletes who've been doing this for a long time are like pros at the whole reverse, and they have a good relationship with food and they're mindful about how they eat. And I think it's more again about your mindset and how you view food. And because I think it's really all mental when you think about it. But I think it takes time to figure it out. And I've only been doing this like 3 years, and I'm hoping the next reverse I do, I will finally be successful.
On like a deeper level, like what are some things that you've learned through this, last 3 years of doing this that you've kind of taken away from the sport so far?
What have I learned? That's a tough question. I mean, what I've learned compared to the first show up into my national shows that I've done is I think that as far as the diet part it goes, it doesn't have to be so black and white. I think when I first started, I thought I had to just eat like certain things, like just chicken and just asparagus and just rice, but you can get creative, you can make it more enjoyable. You can still have a life. It doesn't have to be so hardcore. I think when I first started, I was just like, oh my God, I got to do everything exactly how he says. Sorry, my dog is like over here bothering me. But I think just after experience and kind of learning the whole process, you just get better at doing it and making it work for you.
Looking over, the past 3 years, talking about things that you've kind of learned, talking about, the struggles, the good, the bad. But what are some things that you continue, as you look ahead, like, okay, these are some things that I still, want to get better at in regards to maybe it's the training aspects or the dieting aspects or, taking more time for recovery or whatever. Like, where are some areas that you're still looking to improve on?
I would say the last competition season when I did Universe, I just got so wrapped up in it that I let it consume my life, and it affected my relationships with friends and family. And I think it was just too much. I want to go into this and I want to actually enjoy it. And I want to still maintain friendships and, be good with my family, because I think I just focused so much on it that it took away from everything else. I love competing, but it's not everything. And I just want to make sure the next time I do get back on stage that I'm not making it everything in my life. There's a lot more in life that's important to me that I need to prioritize as well. And I think I kind of lacked that this last season. So I do want to improve on that. As far as things for show, the diet, obviously, like I told you, we need to work on that, and we are working on it. So hopefully when I go into prep and do my shows and reverse it, I will be much better at it, because when you don't reverse right, it really makes everything much more difficult. So, and then I would say, like everybody says, I want to work on my posing. I got to get that down better. And the gym, I've always been good at the gym. I feel like that part is the easy part. It's the other stuff that's hard.
Do you have anything specific right now that you're looking to actually implement, or is it still kind of like figuring it out?
I'm still figuring it out, but I don't want to not go to things because I'm in prep. I made that mistake over the summer. I'd say no to a lot of things. We have a boat. We go out on the lake in the summer, and I, I really didn't get the opportunity to enjoy that, because a lot of times my husband would want to go out and I would say no, and I regret that now. I just want to keep living my life. I don't want to, because I feel like all I did was get up, work out, eat my food, work, and go to bed. And that's really not a life to live either. I mean, I enjoy everything about competing. I love the whole process, but I also need to be living the rest of my life as well. Again, I think maybe over time and the longer I do this, I'll learn how to balance things. Um, and I think it's just going to take time to figure it out. I mean, you just kind of learn from your mistakes, and that's what I'm doing.
Is it something that you can see yourself doing, kind of super long term, if you will, or is it more of like a timeline, like an expiration date?
I honestly don't know. My main focus right now is I want to do the next prep 100% because I feel like even when I placed fourth in universe, it wasn't my best because I wasn't perfect. I kept messing up. And if I'm going to put all this money and all this work into this sport, I want to make sure I bring my best package on stage. And if I don't win, it's not because I didn't put the work, you know. So that's kind of my focus this next season coming in. I want to do the national shows. Like everyone, I want to try to get my pro card, but I want to make sure that I did everything I was supposed to do to get there. And if I don't get it, it's not because I didn't do the work. I kind of felt like last summer was a wash with that, considering I went into universe not perfect with my prep and then backed out of the next two shows. As far as long term, I mean, if I got my pro card, which would be amazing, I would love to try to compete in the pro level and see how I do. I don't know how long I would do it. I think it all depends if I'm enjoying it and if I want to keep doing it. Kind of just taking it each season at a time.
Appreciate you coming on and kind of sharing a little
Yes,
bit
thanks
about
for having
your
me.
journey. Yeah, for sure. If you want to share any socials or anything like that, you can go ahead and do that.
If you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is KDFit _over 40.